to show you, this is just one of many of the houses that have been completely destroyed. You can look closely there and see that that's the floor up in the air. And then on the ground here is actually the ceiling. This trailer was split apart. I spoke to a woman who was in an RV when it flipped over. She was underneath everything she owned, didn't know if she was going to get out. And we will hear from her a little bit later in the show.
Really, this happened well into the second day of court. So we heard from 7 witnesses today before this mistrial was declared. Now, one of those witnesses was former County Commissioner Betsy Barfield. Her testimony raised concerns by the defense earlier in the day. We do know that this was a shooting involving deputies from the Taylor County Sheriff's Office. Now, we are aware of that video, as you mentioned, circulating on social media. We're not going to show that, though, until we can confirm the legitimacy, but we have been working all day. I did ask him if there was any indication that the woman in the car with Bryce was being held against her will. The sheriff told me she didn't express that, but she did tell deputies the night before this shooting, he did also pull out a gun on her as well before he killed his mom and those 2 other women. And really the hardest part for her, as we talk about going back to school, she says her kids start school tomorrow, and she's just not even sure how she's going to get them through the rest of this week, just not having anything from their home.
And Sadie and her family are watching, so I want to make sure to say hi, Sadie. But of course, we wish her the best as she looks for donations to fill all those stockings. Julie and Jacob, I was so inspired talking to her today.
This is so wonderful. I already started writing down.
Well, imagine you're the media specialist here at McIntyre Park, and you're trying to find ways to get students more interested in reading. Well, that was Julie Brewster's goal, and that's why the middle school now has 2 exercise bikes so kids can come in here and read and ride. Escaping rapidly rising floodwaters, this elderly man was rescued from his Live Oak home as the neighborhood goes underwater.
Over the last couple hours, it's just started to get worse and worse. Obviously, it's progressing.
AJ Stevens was one of the men in this video. He says his elderly uncle is bedridden and they needed to get him out to safety.
We wanted to get him out before the water got too bad and he was stuck. So we were carrying him out from the building and getting him to a car where they have another house and they can go ahead and get him squared away and better, more comfortable position without all the water.
Neighbors working quickly to help each other with only moments to spare.
Started to rise, and in like 2 hours, it was from the tire to the windows. So it happened pretty swiftly.
Madeline Gamble says that's when panic started settling in.
The water got so high it blew the transformer right in front of our house, so that was a little scary.
She and Brittany Shearer say they've never seen their neighborhood in this condition.
This is an elderly neighborhood, so we're probably the youngest people that live here, which is great because we can get out and help them, but scary nonetheless because a lot of them don't have places to go.
As for rescues, Stevens and a few others then took their canoes going door to door to look for more people who need to escape.
Once there's nowhere for the water to go, the only place it's going to end up is in your living room and on your porch. So we wanted to get him out before it got too bad.
If you walk into Stylish Shear's barbershop, you'll get good laughs and conversation, but you'll also get to meet Mr. Fred Kinney. He is 92 years old and still cuts hair every day.
For something to do. Keeps me busy.
Well, he's been busy for more than 60 years. He got his barber's license in 1957 and owned Stylish Shears for many years. And best of all, he gets to work with his son, Scott, who now owns the place.
He rides in with me to work, and we go home, and we work all day and just have a great relationship. I feel extremely fortunate to have that, an opportunity most people don't have.
An opportunity he doesn't take for granted.
We have fun up here all day long. It doesn't feel like work to you because it's such a relaxed environment.
Fred also owned the Tallahassee Barber College for a few years, along with another barber school in Clearwater. He's always at the shop, so I asked, what does he do when he's not cutting hair?
Cut my grass. I like to fish. I fish a little bit.
And being 92 years old, many people would have already retired, but not Fred. He says,
It's just as long as I have good health, I'm going to keep going.
Which his customers certainly appreciate.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, he amazes me that he keeps going and he keeps doing a fantastic job. This is a place that is special, and I think that the people come here recognize how special it is.
Special in more hairs than one. Scott and Fred Kinney both sharing their love for what they do together.
I've enjoyed it and I'm proud of it. Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to be able to keep going, and a lot of the customers, I've known them forever, they're like family.